Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's another Friday night RV side chats with Shawn and Corinne from Travels of Red Rover. Last week we talked about the group experience. What are we talking about this week, Shelley?
Well, this week we're going to be talking about locations that we want to go revisit. I'm sure everyone has those.
This episode's loaded with a lot of places that we want to go back to, and I know Shawn and Corinne wanted to go back to, and I think they may have actually gone back to after we separated, because we had to come back to the 9-to-5 jobs. But stay tuned until the end of the episode, and we're going to tell you what we're going to be talking about over on their channel next week.
So, Shelley, after all the places we visited over the past 10 days, is there anything that really struck your interest and you'd like to do again?
Well, there's a couple places that come to mind. One is a place that we didn't actually shoot at all, and that's Cook Lake. I don't even know if any of that footage will make the videos, but it was a beautiful little lake. It's just the circumstances, the conditions there just weren't conducive to photography. Too bright, just harsh light and all of that. But that would be one place I'd like to go back and shoot. The other being the Pinnacles at Black Hills, because I think there's so many compositions waiting to be had there, and it's just a beautiful area, and it's so many different angles that you can shoot from. So I think that would be another place I'd love to go back and shoot again, for sure. So.
Okay, pause for the Class A to come by. FYI, this is not a KOA sponsored video, but we are at a KOA.
Wow.
And that is a big Class A. How much off-roading do you think that Jeep actually does?
None.
None. Zero.
Okay.
Craig, did you find any spots that really inspired you that you feel like you'd like to go back and try some more photography with?
Yeah, I actually want to spend some more time in the Badlands. At early morning, late afternoon, and just drive around and try to see what compositions actually present themselves instead of having the preconceived thoughts that I had the first night that we came in, and just being totally shattered.
Yeah,
like I was. That's one. And then if I could plan or create the weather, it would be Devil's Tower again.
Yeah,
because that location that you guys found was just spot on, and the weather was just awesome. Everything just came together in this massive confluence of location, weather, then no weather, and stars. It was just an awesome night of photography. And the fact that we literally stayed across the street from the monument.
Yeah.
And didn't have to drive an hour or two back to where we're staying at 1 in the morning after photographing the Milky Way. That was just an awesome experience. So.
What about me? She's looking at me now.
Yeah.
So, well, what these two don't know is that Corinne and I are heading back to Custer State Park, and that after these folks have to head back to their 9-to-5s. There were a number of sites there that we really wanted to go back to. While we were there, one of the places we did go was Sylvan Lake, and it was a beautiful morning, but the light wasn't great. And we never really got the reflection shots that we were after. We got the kind of sort of, cooked, big filter shot, which is not my favorite thing to do. So I think we're going to go back there. I think we'll probably go back up into the spires and do some more up there. Again, we didn't get the skies we wanted.
Yeah.
Didn't really get the light we wanted. It was just, it was the best that could be done for the time we were there. Yeah. But it's definitely worth another experience up there. So, Corinne, I know I picked one of yours because Sylvan Lake was your idea this morning, but just happened to steal it and really agree with it. So, what else would you like to go shoot?
I think that, Sylvan Lake was a big one. Also, I enjoyed the waterfalls, but for Rough Lock Falls, I felt like we were there a little too late. I'd like to get it just slightly earlier in the morning.
Yeah. And I would also like to try the falls actually after the afternoon light. So when the evening is coming on, I think that might be a lot of fun when the sun is more set, and maybe if we were lucky, we might get some white clouds and a little reflection down onto those falls. Could be really lovely.
See, I was thinking the same thing with Rough Lock, because it feels like the sun this time of year hits that angle and gets in there.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if it's not actually an afternoon after the sun sets shot.
Yeah.
And if Shelley and I had more time, I'd be going back there trying that one. I'd be going back there every day if I could, but unfortunately we've got to start heading back tomorrow to get back to the jobs that pay for everything.
Right. Yeah, one day.
One day.
But and I'd have to say, what really sort of triggered that for me is we did the other falls in the afternoon and into the evening, and the light was so much better down in that. With even though we had no clouds or anything to bounce light off of, the light bounced a lot in the canyon. We were shooting almost all of the falls with reflected light, which I really liked.
So Spearfish Canyon is the overall location. And Shawn, when we were driving through there, you made a comment that it kind of reminded you of Bryce or Zion, but with more trees.
Yeah, it would be fun. So it has a lot of pinnacles along the road that are actually a little hard to see for the trees. But and there were a couple shots along the river where I don't think if you remember the big stones, the giant square stones.
Square stones.
Yeah,
Looked like two dice had landed.
Yeah, it looked like and I don't know what the composition could be for that, because we didn't really explore it or study it at all. But that would be a lot. I would love to spend a day just figuring that out. That would be something that would be a lot of fun.
There's something there. Because for one, it caught all of our eyes. And I think I've got some B-roll from driving on it down the canyon. And if I do, I'll show everybody what we're talking about, because it's just these awesome they're almost perfect dice stones that have lodged against each other, and the creek flows underneath and around it is what it looked like on the road.
Yeah, that would be. So I don't know if we're in a park or in a restricted area. I have to check all of this first, but I just really see that as the drone shot, because I can get up on the for those of you that have not seen this, and hopefully Craig will be able to slip in a little video, it's down from you into the river, and any place that you could stand is going to be up high or up higher, where with the drone you could fly it down onto the river and then photograph it right on the river. So we if it's legal to do that, we may go back and try that for an afternoon, because that could be a lot of fun. Again, I think you're right. I think Spearfish Canyon, an early morning shot is fine, but I think it really might be a late afternoon into sunset kind of shot, not so much because of sunset light, but because of the way the light bounces around in the canyon.
Yeah.
So if anybody's familiar with that area and they're watching, yes, we know there's another well-known waterfall there.
Yes.
Bridal
Bridal
Falls.
Falls. Shelley did get a shot of it, and I don't know if it made the video for the falls, but I'll slip it in here, her shot. And then the rest of us it lacked something for me. It lacked flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I felt like it needed a little bit more water to be more of a compelling subject, and without getting down in the stream and walking across the stream. And I think there's a place to ford it.
Yeah.
And doing like a wide 14 mil tilt up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the same image that anyone else would get there.
Yeah.
Because there's one platform and you're locked in.
Yeah. I think that's a very astute observation. I think the other issue that we had when we were there is that we got very distracted by the sheep that were on the up there. And,
well, that was more interesting than the falls.
Yeah.
Because we had several little baby sheep up there dancing around on this precarious perch
One actually tried to fall off. It looked like.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
we were all we all had the big gasp
Yeah.
just before it managed to cling on and hold itself up there, because I was certain it was coming down the thing. But they are very good at that.
Well, hi everybody. We hope you really enjoyed that little RV side chat with Shawn and Corinne from Travels of Red Rover. If you tune in next week on their channel, we'll be discussing if you only had one piece of gear that you could take out with you besides your camera and your tripod, what would it be? What's your go-to piece of gear when you go out and shoot?
It's really a great episode. There's a lot of comedy back and forth between Shawn and I, and you may be shocked as to what pieces of gear some of us cannot live without. It might actually make you think about what piece you couldn't do without out in the field. So stay tuned for that over on their channel. And we'd like to thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet done so, please hit that subscribe button down below. Ding the bell for future notifications. Ding. And give us a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.